Alright everyone, welcome to another RFC Reviews. I'm your host Diecast, and today we have Generation Toy Tyrant. I feel like a lot of companies are using that name, Tyrant, so it's starting to get confusing out of all the third-party names. Come on, third-party, start thinking of different names. I don't even know, a Bombertron or something you could have called this guy, and everyone would have known who he was. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the jet mode. You can see I have him on the stand already. It's kind of a stealth bomber mode. We'll go over the stand too, just to take a look. There's some nice purple details on this. It's like a flat black, nice clear purple up front here. On the bottom side, you have this section here. Now, in package, he actually comes in this bomber mode, which is one of the reasons we're going over bomber mode first. But these leg panels are up like this. And you wouldn't even be able to notice, obviously this looks a little bit worse now, but remember it is the bottom side of the bomber. And I posted a picture, and Bolt Matrix said, don't forget about the leg panels, because I think he missed them when he first got the figure too, just because of how it's packaged. But these panels, they tab in right there, so they actually, you have to lift them up. You can see there's a tab there, and a hole there, and then there's a tab there, and a slot there. And they kind of peg in, so just by pushing on the panel, you don't know that it actually rotates, but it does rotate down, and then this little piece flips down. Now they don't peg in anywhere, and you can see one is sticking up a little bit more than the other side. I kind of wished they would have pegged in just to hold everything together, but it does fill in the bottom of the jet very nicely, or the bomber. And there's a shot from the back, and that is probably my biggest complaint on this. And it's not even a complaint, because I didn't even know they were there when I first got this figure. But you can see some nice clear translucent purple on the back here, right there. That's also where the one of the stand ports are. You got these vents that give it that thruster look. And then you have the wings that get a little bit thin on the side here. That also doesn't bother me, especially from the top. It just looks very nice. And you can see how big this is. You know, basically it's two of my hands spread out. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull something in here for a good comparison. So here we are in comparison. Here he is with the Voyager Megatron from the last movie, The Last Night, and you can see that this bomber is a lot bigger. Get that out of the way, and then let's take a quick look at the stand. Again, really nice stand. You can see on the bottom here they have a lot of clear translucent purple they put into this stand. This was just not like one piece black plastic. These pieces can slide out, and it reveals some extra clear purple detailings. This arm is on ratchet joints, and it has this little lock so you can lock it in place just by flipping that up. That way the figure can't push it down, because it is a heavy figure. Same thing on the arm right here. You can lift that up, and you can slide this up and down, and that locks it in. And then up at the top right here, you have this little peg right here, which will lock this piece in, so the jet will not go anywhere when you plug that on, or the figure for that matter. Yeah, we'll lower that down just a little bit, bring it into frame. But there you can see the bomber on the stand, and it works very, very nice. And that stand is the best flight stand I've ever seen come with a figure. So kudos to them for that. And the reason this splits out is if you want to have Megatron stand on it, it gives him a better base for standing on, which we can show off later. And I don't know if this is a feature or just the way the plastic is made, but you can pop these two in half if you want, and just use that, and maybe that as a stand if you don't want this behind it. So there is that. You can do it. It's something that you can do if you want. So in package, let's take a quick look at the box. Doing this kind of backwards, but we're working back. You see you have a nice picture of Tyrant on the cover in both modes. Generation toy on the sides, generation toy on the back, generation toy, made in China, Weibo number, and Weibo there. Nothing on the sides. And then it's the same. If you have any of the generation toy products, it's the same box with the styrofoam in it. And it comes, like I said, shake it, shake it. These boxes are always hard to get open. Same instructions with that same picture on in the front. And the instructions are fairly good. Everything in the purple moves. So if you see purple, you move it. This one I couldn't figure out where they were talking about. So there are one or two parts that are a little bit hard just to figure out. But your mileage may vary. Sometimes it's just hard for me. But yeah, really nice instructions. Then you can see the foam. You got a layer of foam. You got the stand and the arm. And then you got another layer of foam. And then you got the box, or the bottom part of the foam with the bomber, and each wing piece goes on there. So now let's get on to transformation. Yes. Getting foam pieces all over here. So let's go ahead and just pop off the wing pieces, just like on the deluxe version from Hasbro. These turn into his fusion cannon or gun or whatever you're going to call it. Get out of the way, box. Then we're just going to do some cleanup on this, since, like I said, this is how it comes anyway. I'll just flip these pieces up, make sure they tab in on the legs, or on the side right there. There you go, tab those in. And then the first thing you want to do is you're going to work these panels out just a little bit. You can see there's a bunch of tabs. You do want to exercise caution with this figure. Not that anything will break, there's just a lot of tabs on this guy. So we got those pulled out. Now we want to pull out the legs. And also on the cleanup, we're going to pop up these back panels, and that'll free up the legs a little bit more too. And then we're just going to pull the legs out, flip them around, rotate them, just like that. We'll lower the camera a bit so we can do the same thing on this side. You can see all the tabs on this. You got about 4 tabs right there. Rotate this around. Nice clickety, ratchety goodness. Straighten this out. I think this leg's backwards. Straighten that out. And then what you want to do is we're going to come down to the foot. And if you push on the back of the foot, it'll actually pop this panel out. And then you bring this out. You want to rotate the heel all the way around, and then rotate the toe all the way around, or the front of the foot, and then pull the heel out just like that. And then this piece is going to straighten out just like that on the back of the leg. And then on this piece, this is hard to show. It's a hinge right here which folds down, and there's a hinge on this one, which folds down. So it's 3 pieces. And then you also have to, there's a double joint right here where you want to bring that all the way forward, and it'll lock into place right there. Just like that. This silver is gonna almost sit flush with these black, the side of the black legs, and then flip that piece all the way down. And then there's a hole, or a little box right there, sort of a big tab, that this is going to come down to and lock into when you close up that leg panel. So there you have one leg all done. We'll do the same thing on this leg. Again, we're going to flip out the foot. Oh. And again, if you just push the foot out, it'll flip that all out. Turn the toe around, bring out the heel, just like that. Make sure that piece is extended down. Then come around to this. Make sure that pops out. Rotate that piece down, all accordions down. And then close this leg panel back up. And then if you see in the foot, you can see that piece, how it kind of locks in, which keeps everything nice and secure. That whole panel is now nice and secure. So there we have the bottom half. All we have to do is flip up these little pieces right here, and then these 2 side pieces will also come down. And what that does, you'll see in robot mode, that allows the legs to go all the way out, just like that. So we'll raise up the camera, come up to the top half of Tyrant, and then this already came untabbed on its own, but this little piece tabs in right there. We're going to pull this section off, and you can see there's 4 posts, and they go, 2 go in there, and 2 just rest up in those grooves right there. And you'll pull this down, and this will now just get that out of the way for now. Then we're gonna flip in this piece up here, and then you want to rotate this piece all the way around. You can see Megatron's head. And then these pieces will flip out, and that'll allow you to fold this middle waist section down. And then you just want to flip out these side pieces right here, just like so. And then these pieces will come up to the side, and then this whole piece will rotate down. And then this is when that crotch piece locks everything together. And you would still think because it locks together it wouldn't have a waist joint, but it still does, because there's a joint right above there that gives him a little bit of side-to-side rotation, which is really neat. Really neat that they were able to incorporate that and not lose that feature. So, and again, on the sides, you can see where they kind of tab in, just like that. See that little tab right there that this silver piece goes into. And yeah, now we come up to the top of the jet. And what you want to do is you want to split the arms. And then there's tabs on the back of here that these will untab from. Just like that. And again, you can see why. I mean, you just want to be careful with your tabs. There's 2 there. And then there's a bunch, 3 tabs right here. Then there's another 2 tabs that will come out. right on the side there that you'll see. Now that we got these arms all separated, what you want to do is we'll come to the back and we'll open up this back section, and then you can start to work Megatron's head through the back hole. And we'll just leave his head back there for now. And then this comes down, and you're going to see there's two slots right here and these two big tabs that these are going to tab onto. And again, it's just a matter of getting everything lined up. And also, these two tabs up top will go in right there and right there. They're a little bit off center. But let's see if we can get this all tabbed up. Tabbing. There we go. We got one. And we got two. Then we can bring these pieces up on the side. And they can come all the way up. You can kind of rotate them out to the back just for now. And then you want to get your finger in here and rotate up these silver bits. Just like that. And then we'll also bring down this front piece of the jet. And that's going to peg in right there in the center of his chest. And then we can bring the arm back down and they will tab in up top, right where they're supposed to. And also on the front of that silver piece that we just flipped out. Just like that. Now that we have those tabbed in, you'll see they tab in right there, right above, right in the neck area. Now you can bring Megatron's head all the way forward, and this will kind of tab up and then tab in right there. And for me, it holds in very, very secure. I haven't had a problem with his head at all coming loose. You can leave this back panel back a little bit if you want to, just for some more definition on the figure. And then all we have to do is didn't tab it. All we have to do is rotate the arms around, and then gonna do a bit of rock this piece forward. You can see there's a tab right there that's going to come out of this side piece, and now you can flip out the hands. Lock that back in. You can rotate the hand around, and then on the shoulder you want to lift up that clear plastic piece, and you can rotate out the shoulder pieces, which kind of fills a gap right there, which is really nice. Again, that it's filling in all these gaps. It's just like every place they thought that someone might not like something, they put something there to fill a space. This is Generation Toys' best figure ever, in my opinion. Helps too if you bend the elbow and just flip out the hand and rotate that around. But I have all of their Devastator figures, Constructicons. It's late, I can't think of names. And then finally up top, you can see these two little vents. They're closed up like that. You can just press them back, and that gives him even more detail. So there you have Megatron fully transformed, or Tyrant. And this is a reference to a mode he was in the comics. These pieces on the back can come up and flip up. And these are the only two pieces that really stick out on the whole figure. They just fold up like that on the back. But you can see, other than those two pieces, this is super, super clean. Really, really enjoyable figure. Can see he still does have that waist rotation. His head is on, can go up and down, and can do a full 360. And you will see right on the back there is a switch, and batteries came preloaded on this guy to give him that nice glow. And I was a little disappointed when I first got the figure out, because I was like, his eyes look kind of dead, which isn't bad for Megatron. It's just not ideal. But then I noticed that there's a switch on it, so at least give him the light up eyes when you want that look. So that's pretty cool. I still think I want paint over light up features, because I hardly ever use the light up features, but it's nice to have. Arms can do a full 360. They can go, if that jewel doesn't get stuck in the way, which it did. They can go all the way out, and there's even another joint in there, but they can go all the way out, just like that. Does have a rotation above the elbow. He has a single jointed elbow, but it will get you more than 90 degrees, just the way the joint is laid out. So same thing on the other side. As I was saying, you do have that waist rotation. The legs can go all the way up about that far. Like I said, if you don't put these panels up, you can only get them to about that, but they will almost move themselves out of the way when you go to put the leg up. You can get ratcheted all the way back, more than, well, about 90 degrees at the leg. You get a rotation right above the knee, and then the foot, you get forwards, you get backwards, you get a rotation side to side, and then you have that separate toe or front of the foot articulation if you want it, but you really don't need it, just because the foot does go side to side on this guy. And yeah, he is super awesome. And the one thing I do want to say is, look at all these screw hole covers. I mean, we don't even get that from Fans Toys. I know they kind of had to do it on this figure, especially because a lot of these pieces where these screws are on the top of the jet. But I really like the detail in this guy. He's very solid. He's actually, once you transform it more than once, he is a pretty simple, or I don't want to say simple, but he is a decent transformation, and it's not overly complicated, but still satisfying. And then just to give you, let's bring in the two wing pieces, and they will peg together right there. And then to extend these, you just extend these panels, and it's amazing the way they're using a lot of the lines. Like, you can't even tell that there's supposed to be sliding panels where they put them. Just like these back bits right here, I couldn't even tell that that's supposed to slide back. And there you go. And then these pieces right here come back, and then you have that tab right there, so you can plug it into either side of Megatron's arms. Of course, that's the correct side. Unless it was different in the comic, I don't know. But you can do it on either side that you wish. And then the other part of articulation I forgot is the hands. They are on the 3 bottom fingers are on one. Then you do get the pointed trigger finger on that one. And then for whatever reason, he does have this little rotation inward. Like shucks. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't have to do it. It's not for transformation. It's interesting, especially he has no guns, no weapons. It's just his fusion cannon as his main weapon. So it was that's a little bit of an interesting choice for extra articulation. But hey, it's there. It's there. And he stands very well. He's got, you know, a lot of die cast, feeder die cast. So it gives him a very nice plop. And he's sturdy and he's relatively skinny if you take a look at the whole figure like that. So let's go ahead and do comparisons. And here he is with MP10. And he is just a little bit taller than MP10, but definitely in that masterpiece scale. Actually, on camera, it's coming up that MP10 is a lot smaller. It doesn't look that much off in person as it does when I'm looking in the screen. I wish I had OptX, which is their generation toy, their Optimus Prime from the comics. I guess the same comic that Megatron came from in this bomber mode, but I actually like this figure so much, and I wanted this figure ever since I saw it at TFCon. But as soon as I got him in hand and started messing around with him, I ordered OptX because he is that nice, and I really want someone to go with him, to stand next to him in my display, and that's a good product. When it makes you go out and buy more of their stuff, that's when you know you have a quality figure. And there isn't any real complaints on this guy that I can think of. He is just absolutely awesome and one of my favorite figures of the year. So, which is pretty strong with, there's a lot of contenders out there right now. But that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There should be a little button right there. Just hit that subscribe. Thumbs up if you're already subscribed, or even if you're not subscribed, that helps me out. And definitely thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.